Namaskar. Today I am going to take you to the fascinating world of cannons. Let me explain first why we study old cannons, what we learn from them. As cannons are complex metal objects, they tell us about the technological and metallurgical expertise of their time. So by studying cannons, we get an idea about the pattern of availability of resources and rate of progress of science. The designs, ornamentations and inscriptions on cannons tell us about the art and culture of that era, as well as the timeline of the rulers. Therefore, cannons at present are looked at as not just as some tools of wars, but also as evidences of history. Now I will briefly discuss about a few old cannons found in West Bengal. Let us go to Murshidabad. In front of Hazardwari Palace in Murshidabad stands the massive Bachawali Top. There is no way to ascertain the year of manufacture, but it is believed to be around 16th century when it was constructed. Originally, it was found on a sandbank near Ichaganj at Gaur, Malda, and brought at present site by Sadek Ali Khan, the architect of the nearby Imambara building. The cannon has two parts. The larger part is the barrel of the gun. It is 11 feet 6 inches. I will show you. This is Bachawali. This is the large part, 11 feet 6 inches, and this is the small part. This is the barrel. This is the powder chamber. The diameter of the bore is 19 inches. There are 11 rings binding the wrought iron barrel. The muzzle and rim has petal-like ornamentation and raised foresight. Petal-like ornamentation. There are 8 lifting rings. The smaller part is the chamber that used to contain the gunpowder charge. This is the smaller chamber which contains the gunpowder. It is 3 feet 7 inches long. Gun was used to mounted on a large wooden carriage. How the carriage was, I will show you. This is the original carriage which used to carry the gun. The gunpowder chamber and the barrel, it was fitted tightly on this carriage. Next, an iron ball almost equal to the diameter of the barrel is pushed through the open end of the barrel. Then the cannon could be fired, putting a fire to the touch hole. This is the only cannon in eastern India having such unique forge welded construction and with a separate removable gunpowder chamber. This is very important. Separate removable gunpowder chamber. We are going to another important cannon of Murshidabad, which is called Jahan Kosha. I'll show you a photograph of Jahan Kosha. This is Jahan Kosha. The name of the Jahan Kosha means destroyer of the world. This great gun stands on the raised platform of the Westfield Top Khana, that is the artillery yard of the Nawab of Murshidabad. I would like to tell you important information here. Before this gun is brought here, it was embedded in a peepal tree, and what is surprising, this gun is about 7,900 kilogram. That peepal tree lifted the whole gun off the ground and took it above the grounds about 4 feet high. After that, the peepal tree was cut down and the gun is brought back here. However, we don't know what kind of metal exactly it is because no correct metallurgical study is done so far, and we don't know the composition correctly. The cannon is 7 feet 6 inches long. The weight is 7,900 kgs, as I have already told. The bore, that is the diameter of the hollow barrel, is 6 inches. For each firing of the gun, 26 kg of gunpowder was required. Jahan Kosha was manufactured at Dhaka in the year 1637 by the expert artisan Janardhan Kormokar during the reign of Shah Jahan under the supervision of Horaballabh Das. On the gun there are 9 brass plates with inscriptions. At present, the inscriptions have been obliterated by the constant hand touch of the tourists. Fortunately, we have earlier records of the inscriptions. This cannon is an excellent example of the superb expertise of the Bengali gun makers of 17th century. Now let us go to Bishnupur. In Bishnupur, the famous gun or cannon, as we call it, Dalmadal, stands there. The correct name of Dalmadal is Dal Mardan, meaning crusher of group of people. It is manufactured between the years 1600 and 1700. Its length is 3.84 meters and length of the hollow barrel is 3.15 meters. Weight 7.9 tons. This is one of the earliest wrought iron forge welded cannon of India. I'll show you the picture. This is Dal Mardan. This is made of total of 63 groups of 3 concentric ring assemblies. Each ring 63 groups, each containing 3 rings. 3 rings means concentric 3 rings. Barrel is made of concentric 3 rings. That means a total of 189 rings of various sizes were welded together. There are fine hammer marks all over the surface of the cannon. You can even see there are nice hammer marks. Welding joints are almost invisible. You don't find out any welding joint. Detailed metallurgical analysis of this cannon has been done. Presence of extra phosphorus in the iron protects it from atmospheric corrosion. The engineering genius and blacksmith skills of the ancient Bengalis who forged this wonderful piece of wrought iron cannon must be highly appreciated. Strict dimensional tolerance were maintained at very high temperature. When the iron is still soft, there is a Persian inscription at the touch hole end of the gun, which reads 1,25,000 rupees. It was the cost of construction of this great cannon. It was a very expensive venture at that time indeed. Dal Mardan is an outstanding example of technical achievement of that era. Let us go back to Calcutta to look at a few British cannons there. We'll go to Nimtala Ghat Street now. At about 10 years back, when underground water pipes were being laid, 2 cannons were found near the Mayo Hospital on Strand Road. They were transported to Nimtala Ghat Street near Joda Bagan police station. Recently, with the help of a heritage conservation group, the local councillor has arranged for proper display of these 2 cannons. These are the 2 cannons. Now they are displayed. This event is an excellent example of local people helping the government authorities to preserve historical objects found in their local area. One cannon, this one, this is called Armstrong Frederick design because the engineers who invented these designs, their name was Armstrong and Frederick. This model remained in production from 1760 to 1786. Metal is cast iron, length 5 feet 7 inches, bore 3.5 inches. It fires round shots of 4 pounds. It is used by British Navy as well as the Army. The other one, this one, it is called Bloomfield pattern. Why this name? Because the engineer who has invented this pattern, his name was Bloomfield. It remained in production from 1787 to 1860. The specialty of the model is there is a loop, hollow loop. You cannot make out probably, but it is the loop through which a thick rope used to be passed. Because when the firing is done, the gun gives violent backward movement. That is we call recoil. And to check the recoil, that rope is tightly fixed with something. That is an improvement in the design also. There are other improvement of the designs also. I am not going to the finer details. Anyway, this is around 5 feet, yes, it is 5 feet long. Bore is 4 inches and it fires a round shot which weighs 6 pounds. It is primarily used by the British Navy as well as by the Army. These are the two very examples of two very nice light British guns used throughout the Indian subcontinent during the mid 18th to mid 19th century. These are a very fine example of light English guns. Now we will go to the Bibidi Bagh area. In the Bibidi Bagh area, if you are working from Telephone Bhavan to Raj Bhavan, on your right hand, you will find on number 2 Red Cross Place 3 cannons stuck vertically beside the entrance of an office. This is the photograph. This is the entrance of the office. These are the vertically placed guns. This office was the showroom of the famous gun dealer R.B. Roda. These cannons look like Congreve medium cannons used by Royal Navy but shorter in length. 2 cannons are 5 feet 6 inches, 1 cannon is of 5 feet. These cannons are made of cast iron. As per records, first casting of such guns were done on 17th February 1813. These cannons fire iron round shots of 25 pound weight. Due to shorter length, these were easier to fire from ships and handling was better in ships. But due to heavy recoil, these guns were discarded by the Royal Navy in the year 1830. But the ships of East India Company continued to use it for some more time. These probably came from such a ship of East India Company. I conclude my talk here. Thank you all for your kind attention. I also thank the authorities of the Indian Museum, Kolkata, for providing me an opportunity to present this talk. Thank you.